General public comment is limited to subjects within the jurisdiction of the board. Public comment does not include the right to engage in a dialogue with board members or staff. Please remain respectful of the forum and refrain from uttering, writing, or displaying profane, personal, threatening, derogatory, demeaning, or other abusive statements toward the board, any member thereof, staff, or any other person. Members of the audience should be respectful of the views expressed by speakers, staff, and board members, and may not clap, cheer, whistle, or otherwise disrupt the orderly conduct of the meeting. Any person engaging in conduct that disrupts the meeting is subject to being removed from the board meeting. And finally, if you witness conduct or behavior by other members of the public that disrupts your ability to remain engaged or participate in this meeting, please notify the Sergeant at Arms or other county staff. Thank you for your cooperation.
Okay, let me just say that we have a good substantive agenda today, and we have a lot of people who've come down to address us on items. And I just wanted to reiterate one of the things in the code of conduct that was just played, that if you engage in disrupting our meeting, you are subject to removal. So just to remind you of that, we hope that we have a good meeting and that everyone has an opportunity to address us. Everyone feels comfortable here in this governmental body's auditorium today. So let me tell you what the plan is. We're going to begin with public comment, and that will be followed by items not held by the board. Then we'll take up item number 2, followed by item number 3. And now is the opportunity for members of the public to address this board on items of interest that are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the board. And due to the number of speakers we have today, we will limit the speakers to 1 minute. Madam Executive Officer, please call those members of the public who have signed up to speak on general public comment.
To use a lot of African American
Will the following individuals please come forward when I call your name? Arnold Sachs, Belinda Flores,
People of
David
color.
Morris, Eric Previn, Erica M., Ernest Moore,
And what
Gilbert
else?
Johnson, Gladys Gonzalez, Gloria Gonzalez, Herman, Janice Bowman, Jared O'Brien, Jennifer Jackson, Jose Martinez, Katie Nixon, Kim McGill, Corey Smith, Larry Lavin, Marsha Temple, McHale Fiona, Mike Greenspan, Mr. Nunez, Rochelle Red Chief Hunt, Reverend Dr. Melody Desire, Sandra Blanco, Tiana Cruz, and Tiffany Bailey. Please come forward and staff will assist you.
Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Eric Previn from Studio City, currently a candidate for City Council District 2. I'm gathering signatures. I'll let you know how that goes. It's going well. I'm talking to a lot of the constituents in our district, and it's nice. On October 1st, the board went into the back room and had a closed session meeting, and then came out and announced that they were going to file a lawsuit. It's now November 20th, so we're getting on in time, and the county council are still reluctant to disclose, and yet then yesterday it popped up that the county board of supervisors, the DA, is going after Jewel. So I was wondering, is that what the lawsuit was that you were discussing on October 1st? And regardless, could you please instruct the county council, who's doing a great job, by the way, to release that information? Because when the board or any agency takes a legal action, it's on behalf of the public. And so I understand there might be a little bit of time, but you don't have to disclose the names of the parties, but the category and the type of thing. And I suspect it might be that big Jewel lawsuit, which I applaud. And by the way, Mr. Wesson took $1,500 from Jewel, so I think he may have given it back, but that's a very bad stuff.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Go ahead.
My name is David Morris. I spoke before you on May 15, 2018, together with 6 other citizens, and we described the atrocious treatment of unhoused clients when civil rights violations by the homeless services provider, people concerned, whom the county continues to fund. Since then, one of the citizens that spoke with me, Richard Segura, has died, apparently due to the incompetence and negligence of the people concerned. Since then, I was terminated from the shelter operated by the people concerned in retaliation for speaking out. Also in retaliation, the people concerned prevented me from continuing to use my Medicare provider for many years, at a federally funded clinic, and they are seeking to exile me from Santa Monica altogether. I have a county vouchers, federal
They're having young kids come into
flexible
that.
housing subsidy program. The voucher amount is too low for renting an apartment
Thank
in
you,
the same
sir.
area.
Thank you, your time's up. Thank you for your testimony.
Okay, could I have a card from someone in District 3, please?
Yes, District 3 will meet you down on the front row of the auditorium. Thank you. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Good morning, Arnold Sachs. I just wasn't sure what to really talk about this morning, and then I heard all these presentations, and it dawned on me, you know how to present this. You ever see those reports? You ever get a report and go through it, and you're going through the pages, and all of a sudden you come to a page, and at the bottom it says, this page is left intentionally blank. That's the most important part of the whole report, because that blank page is encoded. And so just like this meeting and the start of this meeting and these presentations, there's a lot that's been encoded in some of the discussion that you hear. And you just really have to pay attention to what's being said, and then you'll get an idea of just how shaky this situation is around the county of Los Angeles. It's a serious problem that should be decoded by the public.
Next speaker, please.
Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning. Supervisor Hahn, I am the producer for the Los Angeles Veterans Day LA, and it was an absolutely outstanding presentation, so thank you for everybody and all the Board of Supervisors. I am back to my day job. I am an advocate for the American Legion Palisades. I served as second vice commander, and I am a veteran advocate in the community at large. I wanted to bring to your attention that we have a very, very critical service provider, a benefit for our homeless community and our veterans that is about to lose their warehouse location in Fontana. It is critical. There is only one of two benefit providers in this particular area of expertise, and we need to find them a new location ASAP. They are being kicked out, unfortunately, before January 15th, and we need to find something as soon as possible. And I would like to follow up on that.
Thank you for your work on Veterans Day LA, and my suggestion is that you speak with General Wong in our Department of Veterans and Military Affairs to alert her to this issue and see what we can do together. Thank you. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning. I am Marcia Temple, and I'm speaking this morning on preventing homelessness. My suggestion is that you follow the new state law that has to do with diverting custodial parents that will prevent homelessness in two important ways. One, reducing mass incarceration, which frequently leads to homelessness. But even more important, when custodial parents are incarcerated, their children go into foster care. The results of this foster care system is disastrous. 50%, half of the young people in foster care will be homeless by the time they're 18, and 70% will be victims of human trafficking. A successful program to divert custodial parents will provide the family with services to keep the family together so they don't go into homelessness, provide the young people with their own mentors so they can live up to their highest potential
You're
and be
bringing
fully
in dogs.
functioning members of their communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
I'm Jennifer Jackson. I'm a member of the Empowerment Congress. I'm here because of Los Angeles Board, Metro Bus Company Board Secretary, Michelle Jackson. Michelle Jackson has done a lot of sabotaging, not just to my family, myself, but to a lot of other people, and she's posing. She's making people think she works for the LA Board of Supervisors. And people are buckling under and they're doing her bidding. And I need some help in stopping it. So I'm addressing the board about that. I'm bringing that to you guys' attention. Again, her name is Michelle Jackson, and she's the secretary for the Metro Bus Company Board.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
looks like I'm next. My name is Ernest Moore. I've been coming here for over 2 years now, complaining about the corruption in the LA County Probate Court, Department 11. Now it's under Barbara Johnson, and the deputy there is Charles R.G. that has witnessed all kinds of felony violations. They continue to hold up my inheritance, won't release my properties to me, and allowing this court-appointed criminal trustee to steal hundreds of thousands of dollars from my inheritance. We do have a hearing tomorrow. I've demanded to make citizens arrests many times. Sheriff deputies refuse to take police reports, refuse to accept my citizens' arrest. The other thing I want to comment on is the hypocrisy of Mark Riley Thomas over here. He's over here representing Mexicans like they're marginalized people when Black Americans are the marginalized people in LA County.
Next speaker, please.
Honorable Board of Supervisors, my name is Larry Laban and from Encino. Constitutional objectives. Sometimes constitutional rights are carried out to such an extreme that they infringe upon other constitutional rights, like when someone yells fire inside a crowded movie theater. Such a speech could deprive people of life, liberty, or property. Another example is the law prohibiting Mormons from practicing bigamy. However, I do not know which constitutional right it infringes upon. When people swear or use racial insults inside a civilized environment like this boardroom, they are disturbing the peace by depriving the others inside of domestic tranquility, a constitutional objective spelled out in the preamble. I am asking that those who continually use uncivilized language inside this boardroom be charged with disturbing the peace.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
So with public comment, we have not been disheartened, and we have not been disincentivized or desensitized is the best word for that. I am not a stranger to your plight, said a councilwoman from Downey by the name of Rometta. However, they accuse me of being an instigator because I have asked people to pay attention to rent, affordable housing. It's all a sham, and you all know it. Look at the homeless crisis we're in. And who is it? None other than the woman from the 43rd District. $13 billion more to get the homeless crisis out of our way. That's a sham. Kevin DeLeon couldn't do it with $1.2 billion. We're in a hole. Stop wasting money. Put action to words and put your words to action. Stop stealing money. Stop corruption.
Next speaker, please.
Mike Greenspan, fire Chip Kelly, that is, at UCLA, and take us $3 million for us. It's our money. Now, let me go to a special meeting of the Housing Committee on September 25th in LA City Council, 19-0724, motion by Wesson Cedillo relative to 3D printing construction techniques to build housing for homeless and to seek voter approval of a tax on personal income above $1 million a year. No, Mr. Wesson, not another tax. Taxes are to Herb Wesson what affairs are to Newt Gingrich. Neither's ever seen one they didn't like of their favorite categories. And remember, Herb Wesson's running for the 2nd District. So if you think we don't pay enough taxes, vote for Herb Wesson. If you think we pay too many taxes, say, no, Mr. Wesson, not another tax. He's just using the homeless issue to tax us. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
My name is Patricia Angolano. I'm a resident of the Santa Monica area for over 25 years. I have a 3-year-old son who is still in DCFS custody. I'm here today to ask you specifically, and I already sent an email.
Can you hold on for a second? Hold her time. There's too much noise coming from the auditorium right now. So Sergeant at Arms and others who have been tasked with keeping the peace, we ask that you do that. So that everyone that comes up to the microphone, no matter what they're saying, they have a right to be heard. And right now, we're having a hard time hearing them. So if you would all cooperate. No clapping from the audience either at any time today. Go ahead.
Thank you. I sent an email to the office of Sheila Poole this morning, and Stephanie Cohen is on the email, as well as the Overton. It is about my son, who's 3.5 years old. He's in DCF custody still, and I have proof now that the social workers lied in reports. I do have proof. I have documentation in emails. I have documentation here with me. I really need you to look at this because you have an honesty policy that you instated, obviously, that holds government workers accountable. And I do have proof here that social workers lied to keep my son in the system. And I really need your help. And I really need you to look at this because this is very egregious. And my son is currently hurting. He's in foster care number 4. He is very depressed, and this little boy really needs your help. Thank you very much.
And what district do you live in?
Okay. So thank you very much.
I'm sure someone's gonna try to help you after this. Okay, next speaker, please.
Good morning, my name is Katie Nixon. I'm from South Central LA, a member of Community Coalition. I'm here to address if the board, they can eliminate the fees for the men and the women and the boys that are coming out of prison. And if they can do that to help the community in South LA and everywhere else, that these fees need to be eliminated because we, the parents, grandparents, sister, brothers, and things, we can't help them because whatever we help them with already, we don't have that enough funds to give to them when they come out. And if they can have jobs that they can go to when they come out, if they can have a program, that's what we need in LA County for them to do things that is right. Thank the board for everything, and I thank the board that they'll put their heads together and think about what I'm saying and what I'm asking for to eliminate the fees for the poor people in South LA for their jail.
Thank you. Thank you for your testimony. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Belen Flores. I'm a community organizer with Community Coalition, and I'm also here to urge the board to eliminate the county laws around fines and fees, which are overwhelmingly impacting grandmothers, mothers, partners, in addition to the directly system impacted people. And a lot of us are overwhelmingly women of color, low income, and these fines and fees just really need to be reassessed because it's just stifling our communities more than anything. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning, my name is Tia Kuntz, and I'm here today as a member of the Debt Free LA Coalition and as a researcher at the UCLA Labor Center, urging a moratorium on court fees and fines. We estimate in our latest study that each year 100,000 people register to perform 8 million hours of community service in LA County alone, and 84% of them are doing so because they couldn't afford their court debt. People in our study owed 5 times their baseline in total debt, in fees completely unrelated to their underlying offenses. It inflated the average traffic ticket to $520 for 51 hours of community service, and a basic misdemeanor to $1,800 for 96 hours of community service. And little surprise, people don't get it done, right? 66% of folks out of criminal court couldn't get it done by the deadline, and almost half of folks in traffic court couldn't get it done by the deadline, which results in collections or worse, jail. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Gladys Gonzalez, and I'm here to provide proof of the Wayfinders Institution, State of Inglewood, California, regarding all the abuse all the foster kids are being through. And I would like to handle this paperwork to you guys.
Yes.
For Ms. Zavala, Kill, and Solis, please. Can please someone?
Thank
come
you.
and
Can
get
somebody
it for you
get the
guys?
material from her? Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Okay, Corey Schmidt for the record. I just wanted to send some condolences out to someone that passed away. Mr. Hannibal Jackson recently passed away. He was well known in the gay community for mainly his mustache, but also for his contributions to the development community. Just want to give a moment of silence to him. Although his time has come, he will surely be missed. So otherwise, I wanted to bring up some serious topics. See that other cities in the county are kind of ramrodding through some of this 5G microwave on street poles thing we got going on. Really concerned about cooking people. So kind of want to address that, so no one seems to be addressing that. So, and then I want to talk about the sheriff and the children outside today. I saw them. It looks like they're on a field trip. I agree. Children, definitely children. So.
Thank you. We need to call a few more names now.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Would the following individuals please come forward? Morris Griffin and Melissa Fadian, Sir Bailey. Those are the final speakers, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Go ahead.
My name is Tiffany Bailey. I'm an attorney at the ACLU of Southern California, and I'm here with the Debt-Free LA Coalition. Along with many others today, I'm here to urge the LA County Board of Supervisors to eliminate, stop collecting, and to discharge existing county court fees. These court fees unfairly burden low-income communities like the one I came from, as these communities are still disproportionately involved in the criminal justice system due to overpolicing and racial bias in the system itself. The choice that poor Black and brown Angelinos face is impossible. They have to choose between putting food on their table or paying exorbitant court fees that, frankly, they're not capable of paying. The disparate impact this has on the poor is fundamentally unjust, and the board must take action, and the time to take action is now. As so far, the city is losing countless amount of money for people that should not be in the system any longer. So simply, our ask today is simple: eliminate these fees, follow the example of San Francisco and Alameda County.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Good morning, Honorable Board of Supervisors. My name is Gilbert Johnson with Community Coalition, and I'm here to stand with South LA residents and the Let's Get Free LA Coalition to push for the complete repealing of these predatory fines and fees that impose grave economic hardships on Black and brown communities disproportionately. The goal of these fees is supposedly to raise revenue, but data actually shows that it costs more money to collect these fees. I've personally given tens of thousands of dollars to the system since my first run with the LA County Probation Department and the courts at the age of 16. I've been sent back to jail and had my wages garnished because of these fees, and so have countless others across the county. We urge the County Board of Supervisors to completely eliminate these fees. If San Francisco can do it, I know that we can do it here in the great city of Los Angeles. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Gloria Gonzalez with the Youth Justice Coalition, and I just wanted to give you all some facts on why we need to end fines and fees in LA County. So when we look at the probation fees for a 5-year term of being on probation, that costs $9,300. For a pre-sentence report fee, that's $696. Late payment fee, civil assessment, that's $300. Installment plan fee, that's $30. Public defender and investigator fees for a felony plea bargain begin from $305 to $2,399. And then when we look at the people that are being arrested by LAPD, that's 43% of the people being arrested are unemployed. And when we look at who are the people that are responsible for paying these fines and fees, 83% of these people are women. And if people can't afford to pay these fines and fees, that's only gonna make them go back to jail. And we really need to urge you all to cancel that and just end fines and fees in our county.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Erica. I'm a part of Youth Justice Coalition, and I've been impacted by fees and fines just like a lot of people in my community. It's just that me personally, for an infraction which I had already served jail time for, I still had to register to do 70 hours of community service because I work a minimum wage job. You know, a job stands for just above broke. I had to choose between buying groceries or paying that fine for free labor. Fees and fines are especially harmful to working class communities of color. The board should eliminate all fees and fines and debts and issue refunds to families that have already lost money to the system. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello, my name is Kobe from the Youth Justice Coalition. I work hard to pass SB 190, a bill that was sponsored by the YJC to end system fees for youth, and we are here today to urge you to really look into the data for fees in the adult court system. 43% of people arrested by LAPD are unemployed, and many people exiting prison have unstable housing, and there's hundreds of barriers to be stable after release. I also want to say that in 2018, San Francisco became the first place in the county to completely eliminate all county criminal administrative fees. San Francisco also waived more than $30 million in old debt. In Alameda County, a committee of Board of Supervisors just voted to advance of a proposal to eliminate county administrative fees, including public defender's fees. So I think we should just pass along the torch. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning, Supervisors. Kim McGill from the Youth Justice Coalition. We're here representing also today Let's Get Free, which is a coalition of more than 30 groups across the county that's been coming to you regularly to ask for an end to all fees and fines for adults as well. We're calling not only the elimination of fees and fines, but also to discharge all past debt and to reinvest those savings into community programs so that the programs that people need when we're in the system are free. I just wanted to give you a scenario quickly. Imagine that you've already served your jail time for a minor property theft. You still owe $1,000 in a public defender fee because when you eliminated public defender fees, all you did was the registration fee, but not the actual fees. $769 in a pre-sentencing investigation report fee, $300 in a restitution fine, $100 anti-theft class fee, and I could go on, for a total of $7,809 for someone on a petty theft who's already served jail time. I myself have chosen to serve jail time in order to not do community service, knowing that it was going to be such a large burden that I wouldn't be able to complete it. I've seen young people come in with 900 hours in community service. We urge you to look at the report which we gave you today, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kim. Red Chief Hunt.
Yeah, the Red Chief Hunt. I want to thank you guys for doing a good job this year, but 2020 is here. Some of us have been here too long, like the program manager of LASA. We need to get a general in here from the listening. If I were you guys, I would get a general in here. Celeste, Hilda, if I were you, I would send a team out there to the people that you bus in and start giving them cuticles and things like that. Janice, the key problem that you're having when you had that homeless girl, Candace, over at Serenity Housing and stuff like that, you go straight to the direct source. That's been a real big problem. Go straight to Serenity in Long Beach and house that girl right there. She's not wrong. Sheila Q, your DPS office on Pico Explode have done a good job. Mrs. McIntyre, you need awards and stuff like that. So if I were you, I would get that done. There's very good staff out there. And thank you guys for having a great year.
Thank you for your time. Next speaker, please.
All right, so Hopix is hiring today. Yes, 5 to 7 tonight. 40 positions. Case managers, data specialists, problem-solving specialists, benefit outreach case manager. It's like the whole company left. Why is Hopix hiring when they have about 4,000 families that they can't even house yet? How are they going to have a hiring spree for 40 positions when they have a caseload a mile long with families still not housed yet? So I'm going to tell you what's going to happen tonight between 5 and 7. We finna shut it down.